Hey everybody, welcome back. Happy November, and welcome to another segment of Coffee and Connection with the Chief. I'm Chief Dean Rondo, and to my left is my able-bodied Executive Officer, Captain Mark Livy. And I can't even believe we're in November already. Man, 2021 has just sailed right on by. It's amazing. Pretty soon before you know it, Christmas is going to be upon us. So, speaking of that, some highlights here in November. Of course, you got Veterans Day coming up on the 11th. And then we have Thanksgiving. And then the Saturday after Thanksgiving is the Christmas parade, or the Santa parade, as it's known here in Wolfeboro. So that ought to be a hoot. And I'll be down there with several officers directing traffic like we normally do. So just please be mindful that does happen. They start forming up around 1 o'clock, 1:30 or so, and the parade kicks off and goes for about an hour or so, and then the crowds finally break up sometime between 3:30 and 4 p.m. So the downtown will be really busy, really packed. So that's going to be upon us before we know it. So I want to take this opportunity to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving, very Merry Christmas, and happy Hanukkah, and happy holidays for any holiday that I missed. This is a very busy holiday season. We have a lot of different holidays, and I wish everybody the happiest holidays and the most joyous holiday season they can possibly have. Also, I want to take this opportunity to be the first one to wish you all a very happy New Year. The New Year is going to be upon us before we know it. 2022. It's amazing. It really is amazing. So having said that, kind of strategic overview on things in the Wolfeboro Police Department. We're moving right along with the planning and the process for our new public safety building. We finished up a public safety building meeting with all of the committee members and the stakeholders in October. That meeting went really well. I think we have a really good plan in place. I'm very happy with the designs that we received from the architect. Of course, the captain and I were intimately involved in the designing of the new building, so I'm very, very happy with the way that has all turned out. The budget, we're well into the development, if you will, the fiscal year 2022 budget process, which we really begin in mid-July anyway. And we've made it through the Board of Selectmen several weeks ago, maybe about a month ago. No major issues. We came in very tight budget. I think everybody recognizes that. Our budget is very benign this year. We are not, and say again, we're not asking for a new police cruiser this year. We have the Tesla. That was a donation. Again, I want to thank those donors for doing that. That was very nice, and they still remain anonymous to me. I don't know who it is, but if you're watching this, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. That donation did save the town taxpayer quite a bit of money, because we're not asking for a new vehicle this year. There's no reason to. And that vehicle is really working out well for us. And in fact, because of the hybrid vehicle we brought into the fleet last year, the hybrid vehicle we have coming into the fleet, and that has just been completed with outfitting, by the way. We just got that vehicle after almost, 9 months on order. Yeah, it's scheduled to be here shortly, but yeah, we just received that not too long ago, and it went right into upfitting. And then with the Tesla, we were able to reduce our gasoline, and help me out, Captain, here. Gasoline oil consumption came down about 200 gallons. So even though the price in gas went up and our gasoline costs went up this year on the budget, we were still able to reduce our gasoline usage gallons by 200 gallons, and next year we'll reduce it by more. So that's good, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. We're putting in processes in place to help lower the cost of running the Wolfeboro Police Department. So a lot of the things that we started doing 3 and 4 years ago are now starting to come to fruition, and this is really good. This is good, sound fiscal policy, which is what I'm interested in doing. So that being said, we're moving forward with the budget. Our next big milestone, if you will, in the process will be going before the budget committee with our budget and presenting that budget to them, and then hopefully making any changes that are necessary, and then going before the town vote, which I'm not sure if that's been scheduled yet. Or not the town vote, but the town deliberative session, which hasn't been scheduled yet, and then the town vote, which is scheduled for March of 2022. So really, we're about halfway there at this point, and all of that is good. We are operating at full strength, which is really good, and I'm very happy about that. Everything at the PD is going very well, and that's really, I think, all that there is to report. We're moving into fiscal year 2022 in very good financial shape, and also very good shape in terms of personnel, which I'm very happy with. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to the captain. He's going to give you a kind of a glimpse into our operational readiness and our operational effectiveness. Captain?
Thanks, Chief. Just to add on to what he mentioned about the Santa Parade, and with all the foot traffic that we do have downtown, that downtown area will be closed for a good half hour, 45 minutes, while the foot traffic is down there, the lighting of the tree. So try to take alternate routes around the downtown area during that 45-minute period, because you will not be able to get through. The cruisers will be down there, and we'll be blocking the roads to that downtown area for about 45 minutes due to all the foot traffic. I mean, really, you wouldn't be able to get by no matter which way you look at it. So that's one thing I just wanted to get out there. So just look at an alternate route around the downtown area. If you really need to get to the Hunters IGA or downtown, just park on the outside roadway and then walk down there, and you'll get into those businesses, and you'll be fine. So with that said, I want to talk about a little bit about the public safety building. What he mentioned is that we're going to eventually get out. I know I've always mentioned to come into the PD. We'll give you a little tour of the PD so you can actually see the insides of our operation and the structure of the building and how it's laid out. And that will give you a little idea on why we're trying to move forward with a new building and more space and expand a little, because we have used every inch of the building that our side, because it's a public safety building and we're working with the fire department. But eventually I'd like to get this out, maybe with community television. We'll do a walkthrough of the PD, a YouTube, and get it out there, and I can show you through the camera of our insides of our building and how tight it really is. So you get a better understanding of what we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis, which will be good for you, everyone out there. So the next thing is operational. So the big thing I'm going to be working on within the next 6 months to a year, and I want to get this out there so we're transparent with everything that we're doing, is the speed on North Main Street. Apparently this is a major problem, one that has been very overdue to our focus and to get out there and to look at, and something that we're going to be focused on there with a task that myself and Sergeant Strock are going to be working on to reduce the speeds on North Main Street. This is from basically right when you get out of the downtown area and up to the cemetery is the major area of concern, is when everyone going slow through the downtown area, they just want to get out of there and they want to get home. So they really gun it out there. This is talking to your commercial vehicles, your commercial trucks. I get it. Everybody has a place to be, but we have to follow the law and follow the rules of the road, and watch your speeds, and basically do not use cell phones too. I mean, we're seeing that all around. So we're going to be out there. You're going to see a lot of cruisers in that general area. Don't get me wrong, we'll be focusing on some other parts, what the chief has always mentioned before, are other areas of concern. But North Main is going to be a focus, because that is something that's been a concern to our neighborhoods residents in that area. So we're going to be really focused on that area to reduce those speeds. So just keep an eye on that out, and that's why we're out there. And you might see the Wolfeboro PD, you might see state police, you might see the sheriff's office, you might see anybody out there. But we're going to get a lot of focus in those general areas. So the officers, like he said, we're full staff. We have a juvenile officer, juvenile service department, which is going to be Corporal Boucher. He retired back in August, July 31st, and he's back with us part-time as a juvenile service officer. So we're getting him to training and into the court system to work on that area for the juvenile services, which I think is going to be an excellent focus as we keep moving forward. Probably the chief will elaborate a little bit more on that. With dispatch, there's nothing new in dispatch. We're doing good, but full staff. Everyone's, the calls are coming in. We're busy. Don't get me wrong. We're busy in there. We're very busy with the call volumes that we do have. And I just want to let everyone know is what dispatch does do is it isn't just your fire and your EMS and your police calls. We also are the after hours, which most of the residents do know, but when they do call in, when the electric department is closed, you will get Wolfeboro Central Dispatch. We are the after hours for the electric department, and we take those calls in for power outages or concerns with anything that you have with the electric department, and we get that message over to the on-call department for the electric. But we are the after hours on call. That's true for your water sewer. That's true for your highway department. We take all those calls in, and then we'll get them out to the on-call of those departments who are on call for that week. So I just want everyone to realize that, because it isn't just your normal police and fire calls. Dispatch handles. We cater to the town of Wolfeboro. Wolfeboro is unique in many different ways, and how that is unique is that we have our own electric department, which I think is a wonderful thing. I live in this town. It keeps our electric rates low. But we use our dispatch center the way we cater to that. So we have that electric department. Instead of keeping somebody open for the electric department when dispatch is open, a 24-hour agency, they can take the after-hour calls. And then they get them to the appropriate person and fax it over, and our trucks get out there and deal with the situation.
So the dispatch center is very synergistic and symbiotic, right? It assists the other town departments with their after-hours notification process. But let me explain something else, what it does, just so because we're on this topic. If we get a call of a power outage or an alarm, a water alarm or a sewer alarm or some other alarm coming in from one of our town departments, we'll dispatch Wolfeboro Central Dispatch will send an officer, will dispatch an officer to confirm if there's a high water mark or if there's wires on the ground or if a utility pole is down, before we have to notify an employee to come in and deal with the problem on what may be overtime. If we can deal with the problem, we'll deal with the problem. If an alarm just needs to be reset, we can reset that, okay? So remember, your dispatch center is 24/7. Your Wolfeboro Police Department, we're 24/7. We're on. The other departments are not on 24/7. Sure, they have on-call personnel, but at whatever end-of-day business hour that they have, whether it's 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., they're off duty, but we're still on duty. So we don't mind doing those things because, as the captain said, those tasks, as the captain said, we cater to the town of Wolfeboro, and Wolfeboro Police Department is unique to the town of Wolfeboro. And trying to compare the Wolfeboro Police Department to another city or town police department in terms of calls for service or incidents or what have you is really disingenuous. It's a definition issue. What we consider a call for service or an incident may not necessarily be what another agency considers a call for service or an incident, and vice versa. Their policies and procedures are going to be unique to them. and not to the town of Wolfeboro, right? Because we're all doing business just a little differently, as well can be expected. That's the whole purpose of having policies and procedures. So the captain is absolutely correct. The dispatch center is a very busy place, 24/7, and they're there to serve you, and that's really the nuts and bolts of it. There are a lot of services that get run out of dispatch as well. The Good Morning program, for example. The cyanobacteria notification program is another. So there are many programs that get run out of dispatch center. And of course, everybody's favorite is the Wolfeboro Area Children's Christmas program is run out of the Wolfeboro dispatch center, and that coordinates very closely with our very able-bodied welfare director, Amy Muccio, who is in charge of the welfare department. So again, we're very interested in serving all of our residents and guests here in Wolfeboro, and the Wolfeboro Central Dispatch is an integral part of that service. Back over to the captain.
And to go with that, the Christmas fund. So if you need to contact anyone with that, who runs that part of the within the dispatch, is Supervisor Mia Lyons. So you can reach her 603-569, because remember, you got to dial the 603 now. So 603-569-1444, and you can ask for Supervisor Mia Lyons and for the Christmas fund. So that's pretty much all I have with the operations and the new things going on within our department. I know we have an opening for a corporal position, which will eventually start in that process probably sometime in January once we get through this budget season. And it will be somebody in-house, and they'll go through that process, it's a long process, I tell you, to get that promotion. So that's pretty exciting for the officers in-house that want to move up and understand the supervisory role of our department. So I'll give it back to the chief. Thanks.
Well, that about wraps it up for the month of November for the Wolfeboro PD. So please stay tuned for your safety tip of the month. Join us next month, December, where we're be in the final stages of closing out our budget process and bidding 2021 farewell. So in the meantime, I wish you all fair winds and following seas, and see you next month. And happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Coffee and Connections with the Chief. I'm Chief Dean Rondeau, and this is your safety tip of the month. So November is upon us. It's amazing. I don't know where 2021 went. It was fast. It went by fast. Maybe that was a good thing. I don't know. But it's the month of November. So many of you know from watching these shows, I am a weather geek, right? I always have my eye on the weather. And my wife calls me a weather nerd. But the weather is very important, and I learned that when I was in the Army, and always had my eye on the weather, trying to figure out what was going to happen next. So November, it is not uncommon for us to have some flash snowstorms, some snow squalls, as they're called up here, some freezing rain. Of course, we're still into the early part of November. We're into the leaves still dropping. And all of that can make for slippery roads, slippery sidewalks. So I want you all to be safe. Be safe out there. Safety is the name of the game. If you don't have to go out in inclement weather, in bad weather, especially in the wintertime, don't. Most of our crashes and collisions that we cover happen during periods of time, during inclement weather and heavy traffic. So if you can avoid those heavy traffic periods and inclement weather periods, that's probably pretty good. In the meantime, keep your eye on the weather. Make sure that you're doing your last-minute tidying up around your properties and cleaning gutters and making sure that your drains are cleared of leaves, and you'll have no problems with the rest of the winter and of course, hoping for a very early spring. So having said that, thank you very much for tuning in to Coffee and Connections with the Chief. I'm Chief Dean Rondeau. I'll see you again in December, and in the meantime, have a very happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.